What's up, world? I'm Cameron McKinney, and this is Pop Culture Spotlight, a podcast about the movie Honey, Don't. Here's a quick synopsis. When a potential client is found dead at the scene of a car accident, private investigator Honey O'Donoghue decides to investigate further. The film stars Marget Qualley, Chris Evans, Aubrey Plaza, Charlie Day, Kristen Connolly, Talia Ryder, and Billy Eichner. Standout performances with her two movies with Ethan Coen, Marget Qualley has shown her incredible range. First with Drive Away Dolls, playing the zany, out-of-control Jamie, what I believe to be a tribute to both Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter in Raising Arizona, and then as the totally in contrast Private Eye Honey, to be the comedic relief in one movie and then to totally play it straight the next, not literally, I find beyond impressive. And that's something I really love about the movies that Ethan made with his brother Joel, is that they allowed great actors to play different parts. You have George Clooney, John Goodman, Frances McDormand, John Turturro, and Steve Buscemi, among others. And I know there are some movie fans who get annoyed when a director works with the same actors over and over again, and I only get annoyed when they have that actor play the same part over and over again. This is the second movie that Ethan Coen has worked with Marget Qualley, and he has allowed her to play a completely different part. This is something that I've talked about a lot on this podcast. We have the definition of a movie star all wrong. It's not the name you see in the poster that gets you to see the movie. That's an important factor, but my definition of a movie star is someone who carries a movie and elevates it far above what it's supposed to be, and Qualley has done that in Drive Away Dolls and Honey, Don't. That's my way of saying she's already a movie star. Marget Qualley will next star in Blue Moon with Ethan Hawke and Andrew Scott from Richard Linklater, coming later this year. The Dog stars with Jacob Elordi from Sir Ridley Scott, and Huntington with Glenn Powell. I do believe in the next 3 years, possibly this year, that Marget Qualley is going to get her first ever Oscar nomination, because I do believe that critics are on board with her as a star. They see her potential as an actress. I think she's going to get an Oscar nomination very soon. What I'm not so sure about is if she will ever be publicly viewed as a major movie star. I mean, I've made my case why she already is one. I don't know if she'll ever be uber famous. I think she's well known at this point. I think a lot of people have seen the movie she's in. I'd even make the case that she's already more famous than her mom, Andie MacDowell, ever was. But I'll be the first to admit we are in a really weird state of who is and who isn't a movie star. Back in the day, we didn't have to have debates about who is and who isn't a movie star. You all knew that Will Smith was a movie star. You knew that Julia Roberts was a movie star. You knew that Brad Pitt was a movie star. I just don't think we'll ever have a consensus top 5 list of who's the biggest movie stars on the planet right now. We're not going to get there ever again. It's just my belief that young actors in particular don't get enough credit for being movie stars. I know there are people out there who still believe the only movie stars on planet Earth are guys like Tom Cruise and Denzel Washington, that they are the last movie stars, and I just think that's kind of ridiculous. There's a lot of young talent out there doing great work, and one of them is none other than Marget Qualley. Chris Evans is best known for playing a hero, Captain America, but the actor has done some of his best work playing the villain. First as Ransom in Knives Out, then as Lloyd Hansen in The Gray Man. In Honey, Don't, he plays Drew Devlin, a reverend who is in charge of a cult-like church but is secretly dealing drugs. 2025 has been a very good year for Evans and has reminded me he is a very funny actor when he wants to be, and he's the funniest part of both Materialist and Honey, Don't. The other thought I have about Chris Evans is I just feel like he's a guy who likes like stealing a movie. I don't think he likes being the lead of movies. I think he likes showing up in a movie like Honey Don't, being funny, playing the foil to Marget Qualley's Honey, and then exiting the movie. Like, I don't think he's the kind of guy who should be the lead of a 2.5-hour movie. I don't think any movie should really be the Chris Evans show. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Obviously, he can be the lead of really good movies like the Captain America films. I just think when he's chosen to go down the movie star route, it has failed him. When he's just been the part of a really good movie, that's when he succeeds. Evans will next be in the movie Sacrifice with Anya Taylor-Joy, and there's always rumors he could return to Marvel and play Steve Rogers again, and it would not bother me whatsoever to see him back in that role. I don't think it would be a signal of failure. He had a lot of success and he got paid a lot of money. Who could blame him for wanting to come back to that franchise? I think what we all really want from Chris Evans is just for him to continue to make good choices, because before 2025, he had been making a lot of rough choices in a row. Although I will admit, I think the up and down nature of his career is something that I do find fascinating. Like, can you be a star actor without that consistency? And I think the answer is yes. You have so many examples. Ben Affleck, the most famous one. He's had so many ups and downs, yet in my eyes, he's a star, and I'm back leaning towards Chris Evans also being a star. And finally, I've been a fan of Aubrey Plaza basically since the beginning of her acting career, and for a while, I was wondering why the best directors are not putting her in their movies. Was it because she's a comedic actress and comedy movies are dead? And I'm glad that over the last few years, noteworthy filmmakers have worked with her. Francis Ford Coppola with Megalopolis, which for my money, she's one of the best things in it. You feel her commitment to a specific tone in that one. And with Honey Don't, she's working with one half of the Coen brothers, with Ethan Coen. This to me is the pivotal performance of the movie. What I mean by that is I think people who are on board with this movie really like her performance, and the people who don't like the movie do not care for her work in the film. I'm the former. I don't think this is the best performance of her career by far, but it did feel in conversation with the rest of her career. She's not someone who plays normal people. In a movie, in Honey Don't, Plaza plays MG, a police officer who starts a casual fling with Qualley's Honey. And near the end of the movie, there is a big reveal around the character, which I will not spoil. There is a part of me that really wished that Chris Evans shared screen time with Aubrey Plaza in this movie, because I do see parallels between their two careers, because they are so well known and a lot of people view them as more famous than they are good actors, and I vehemently disagree with that. I think we are talking about two actors in Chris Evans and Aubrey Plaza who don't work in every movie they are in, but thankfully, in my opinion, they both work in the movie Honey Don't. Time to talk about the Ethan Coen of it all. His last two films, which he made with his wife Trisha Cooke, who co-wrote both of them, are being compared to the movies he made with his brother Joel, and you know the movies. No Country for Old Men, Fargo, and Inside Llewyn Davis, to name a few. And yeah, compared to those films, Drive Away Dolls and Honey Don't are not in the same league. However, I do not believe it's fair to compare those movies to these ones. These films, in my opinion, are fun movies, a good time, and I think are entertaining. The big critique of Honey Don't is that it's a minor work, a farce that isn't about anything. What Cook and Coen are doing with their movies are working within genres. Drive Away Dolls is a road trip comedy, while Honey Don't is a private eye film. That's one of the reasons I find it so annoying when I read a review that says that Honey Don't feels like a movie that they've seen before. That's the entire point. It is an homage to movies that have been made before. It's not attempting to rewrite the book and do something completely out of nowhere. Based on the reactions of this movie, I do believe some of the angst towards it is about some people's desire to see the Coen brothers reunite. And I would absolutely like to see that. But in the meantime, Ethan Coen can make as many lesbian comedies as he wants. These movies are very funny and have strong dialogue. And while it does appear that many are obsessed with the Coen brothers coming back together, they also love to have conversations about who the better Coen brother is. Is it Joel? Is it Ethan? It's funny what's happening with these brother-director duos who split up. I mean, people are having the same conversations about the Safdie brothers, both of which have movies coming out this year. I think if you ask most people, they would say they preferred what Joel Coen did with The Tragedy of Macbeth that starred Denzel Washington than they do the two movies that Ethan Coen has made, Drive Away Dolls and Honey Don't. I, however, do right now prefer the work of Ethan Coen's solo career than Joel's. I mean, I just like these movies a lot. I want to see fun, silly movies that star people who I consider to be movie stars. Things could change fast. Joel Coen is currently working on a movie that's supposed to star Josh O'Connor. And ultimately, does it really matter which Coen brother I like better? I just have so much respect for the fact that I don't think Ethan Coen cares about accolades anymore. I don't think he cares about winning an Oscar. I think he's given up on that to a certain degree. He's just making the movies he wants to make. He's not taking himself too seriously. I also think he's self-aware enough to realize that his status as an all-time great filmmaker is never going to change. He's one half of the duo behind so many great movies. The perception of Drive Away Dolls and Honey Don't says a lot about where we are with comedies. It's like, can't we just have a movie be funny anymore? What I think these two films really are great comedic showcases for Marget Qualley, which is something most agree with. And that's another criticism I don't understand. If you think Qualley is the only good thing about the movie, which she isn't, she's the best thing, not the only thing, that should be enough. I guess where I'm lost is, what else do you want this movie Honey Don't to be? What's being truly lost in the conversation about Drive Away Dolls and Honey Don't is that not all the movies the Coen brothers made were beloved at first. The Hudsucker Proxy and The Big Lebowski have had their legacies grow over the years, and I do think there's a chance that happens with both Drive Away Dolls and Honey Don't, especially if Qualley continues to grow as a movie star. Box office, as of this recording, the movie Honey Don't has only made $5 million against a $20 million budget, so one has to wonder if Ethan Coen and Trisha Cooke will be able to continue to make their lesbian comedies. One of the biggest reasons I'm not worried is because we're talking about Ethan Coen right now. If he wants to make a movie, he's going to be able to, because he's going to be able to attract real star power to the films. I mean, in Drive Away Dolls, Matt Damon shows up for him. It's like the exact same way with Steven Soderbergh. Even though the movies he's making are not making a lot of money, they're still being made because Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender are in them. And that gets me back to my hope of Marget Qualley continuing to become a major movie star. I really want that to happen so she can continue to make fun movies with Ethan Coen. When I read some of the bad reviews of this movie, it just feels like the people reviewing viewing them do not understand the purpose of this movie or why it exists. It does not exist for Ethan Coen to win an Oscar. It does not exist for Marget Qualley to win an Oscar. I just find it kind of silly to go, Honey Don't is no Barton Fink. I will say it really is hard to watch an Ethan Coen film and not think about the other movies from the Coen brothers. And getting to Barton Fink, I was thinking about the turn of John Goodman in Barton Fink and comparing it to what Aubrey Plaza does in Honey Don't. In both films, the characters those two actors play are presented as something and then by the end of the movie turn into something completely different. And don't get me wrong, I think the Coen brothers did it way more successfully with John Goodman in Barton Fink. It is fair to say that the movie Honey Don't is not all that interested in the mystery of the movie itself. And I think that comes down to why so many people are disappointed with this movie, because they're watching films like Knives Out, where it's all about the mystery. It's all about finding out what's going to happen. It's all about building towards an unforgettable ending. And I'm going to be honest with you, the movie Honey Don't is just not interested in that at all. It's not a movie that's trying to be overly clever. It's not a movie that's trying to make a grand statement about where we are in the world today. And I'm not gonna lie, I like it when those things are in mystery movies. I love Chinatown. I don't know what to think of that ending when I watch it, but I love that that movie went for a big grand finale. And because Honey Don't lacks that in the eyes of many people, the movie feels small. And I'm here to say a movie feeling small and just being fun is a great change of pace. I don't think there are enough movies like Honey Don't. I'm not calling Honey Don't a great movie. I think it's a very good movie, and it's the movie I personally wanted it to be. Drive Away Dolls is the movie I will defend. I do think that movie is great. I just rewatched it and I love that movie more and more. We as a society have just become all about the plot of movies and television shows. I mean, sometimes a thing can just be a good time to watch. It doesn't all have to be about what the movie is saying. It doesn't all have to be about where the movie is going. And I really do blame television and the miniseries. I mean, those are the things that have really made people fixate on plots. It's all about where is this going? How is this going to end? Do I agree with the ending? And if the ending isn't what I want it to be, then I don't think that what I am watching is very good. You're allowed to not like the movie Honey Don't. I'm just kind of disappointed in the reasons that many people don't like this movie. Yes, there are plenty of movies that I think are really good that fall apart by the end of the movie. I don't think this is the kind of movie you should be judging like that, because the movie isn't interested in being one of those movies that has one of those epic endings you'll always remember. I really wished this movie was more of a success and we could get a possible sequel. Now I think that is completely out of the question, because I don't think people are going to give Ethan Coen enough money to make a sequel. I don't even know if the man wants to make a sequel. I guess I'm just getting the most joy out of the fact that I don't think Ethan Coen cares if you or I like this movie at all. He just made the movie he wanted to make with his wife Trisha Cooke. He has earned the right to make any movie he wants to make. And I'm all here for if he wants to come back and make a prestigious movie with his brother Joel. But in the meantime, keep making these fun comedies starring Marget Qualley. Bring back Aubrey Plaza. Bring back Geraldine Viswanathan from Drive Away Dolls. I mean, I would love for him to continue to work with other great young actresses. I would love to see Ethan Coen work with Maya Hawke, Jenna Ortega, Elle Fanning, and Kaylee Spaney. And one thing I really do want to see in future movies made by both Ethan and Joel Coen is them going back to their former collaborators. I mean, can you please put John Goodman in another one of your movies? Can you please put John Turturro in another one of your movies? And can you please work again with Steve Buscemi? Please. I get that you both want to do different things, but sometimes we just need you to play the hits. Thanks for listening to this edition of Pop Culture Spotlight. I'm Cameron McKinney, and there'll be a new episode of the podcast every Thursday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I highly recommend you check out the film Honey Don't. Next week on the podcast, I'm talking about Darren Aronofsky's Caught Stealing, starring Austin Butler. So tune into that and please rate, review, and subscribe.